Hello and welcome to our next session. The subject is National and International Affairs. The course code is JMC 341. It's our lecture number 17, which is the guiding principles of Pakistan's foreign policy. So, welcome to the session. I am Parvez Khan. I am an assistant professor in the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, Kohart University of Science and Technology. So, basically, we'll be discussing the guiding principles of Pakistan's foreign policy in today's session. So before we begin our session, we'll be talking about the objectives of this session first. Students will be able to understand the guiding principles of Pakistan's foreign policy. Students will develop a geostrategic understanding of Pakistan's foreign policy at international level. And we'll also be discussing Pakistan's future goals in the light of its foreign policy. So yes, this is the map of Pakistan, as you can see, neighboring countries. But let's talk about foreign policy. What foreign policy is basically the relations between sovereign states. It's a reflection of domestic politics and interaction among sovereign states. It indicates the principles and preferences on which a country wants to establish relations with another country. Now let's talk more about foreign policy. Foreign policy guides the activities and relationships of one state in its interaction with other states. It's a development of foreign policy. The development of foreign policy is influenced by domestic considerations, the policies or behavior of other states. So it depends also on how the others are behaving with you. And foreign policy is solely guided by a country's national interest. It's a tool used by a particular country for dealing with the outside world in various areas such as security, economy, trade, commerce, culture, and technology. These are the key points: security, economy, trade, commerce, culture, and technology. So, this is what foreign policy is all about. And now, let's talk about the guiding principles of Pakistan's foreign policy. What are those guiding principles? So we can say that the guiding principles of Pakistan's foreign policy were set forth by the founding father of this country, was Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. And according to him, uh, since he had this, we are guided by his vision. And according to his vision, we have to see the key points, the guiding principles is that according to Quaid-e-Azam, he stated that our foreign policy is one of the friendliness and goodwill towards all the nation of the world. We do not cherish the aggressive designs against any country or nation. We believe in the principle of honesty and fair play in national and international dealings and are prepared to make our utmost contribution to the promotion of peace and prosperity among the nations of the world. And then he says that Pakistan will never be found lacking in extending its material and moral support to the oppressed and suppressed peoples of the world, and upholding the principles of United Nations Charter. So these are the key points: friendliness and goodwill, honesty and fair play, and then support to the oppressed and suppressed. Pakistan has taken strong stance on Kashmir issue, the Palestine issue, and in Chechnya. So wherever Pakistan sees an oppression, that's part of Pakistan's policy to support it, to condemn the oppressions and speak about it. Similarly, the Article 40, as Article 40 of the Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, also outlines a number of principles that drives our Pakistan's foreign policy, and it states that the state shall endeavor to preserve and strengthen fraternal relation among Muslim countries based on Islamic unity, support the common interest of people of Asia, Africa, Latin America, promote international peace and security, foster goodwill and friendly relations among all nations, and encourage the settlement of international disputes by peaceful means. So the key points is Islamic unity, support the common interest of people of Asia and Africa, peace and security, goodwill and friendly relations among nations, and encouraging the settlement of international dispute by peaceful means. So this is more or less the same what Quaid-e-Azam said. And these are the guiding principle of Pakistan's foreign policy. This is what Pakistan is and should look forward to when it comes to international relations. So let's discuss the objectives of Pakistan's foreign policy now. So the key points that we are going to discuss is that the primary objective of Pakistan's foreign policy is to safeguard the national security, territorial integrity, and political sovereignty of the country. Very important point. That the most important point is national security and territorial integrity. Since Pakistan, when the post-colonial after in post-colonial era, Pakistan had seen that Pakistan emerged, the country, India was divided, and Pakistan came into existence after the British forces left and the colonials left this region. So, right from the beginning, the problem for the new emerging state of Pakistan was its national security and territorial integrity. The threat, the Indian threat was there, some other hostile threats were there. So, from the beginning, we have been involved in the national security and territorial integrity debate. And that's why Pakistan would always safeguard the political sovereignty of the country as well. And this is important because right from its inception, right from the beginning, there were issues, the wars were fought, there was territorial threat, and that's why national security, territorial integrity, and political sovereignty remains at the heart of Pakistan's foreign policy. Then the other objectives of Pakistan foreign policy include that one of it is to protect Pakistan's economic interest abroad. Since its inception, Pakistan had to emerge as a country, and there were economic issues, there were economic hardships. So, right from the beginning, Pakistan's economic interests were the key elements of Pakistan's foreign policy, and these guiding principles are also helping Pakistan in forging relationship with different countries, despite the political differences and whatever the means and whatever the geopolitical statuses are. Pakistan has maintained cordial relationship with different countries. An example of this can be Pakistan's relationship with America, while at the same time maintaining strong ties with communist China over the years. Now, this has been surprising, and this has been really amazing that despite the ideological differences, Pakistan has maintained relationship with both China and United States over the years. So this explains that Pakistan is looking forward to economic interest as well. And right now, the Pakistan's key interest is in the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is the Belt and Road Initiative project process, and it's always going on. It's very strong as well. So Pakistan is looking forward to its economic interest. It will safeguard all those elements that creates economic opportunities for Pakistan in the near run. And along with this, the Pakistan's objectives of Pakistan's foreign policy is also to project the image of Pakistan as a progressive, modern, and democratic Islamic country. Now, it's very important. Representation as a country is the key element, how Pakistan represents itself. Although Pakistan has been marred with challenges, there were lots of issues, particularly the last 2 decades have been serious for Pakistan, particularly the war in Afghanistan and then all the terrorism and militancy taking place in the borders and in the regions inside Pakistan has really was really costly in terms of human and civilian lives. But Pakistan is now once again fighting hard to project the image as it's a progressive, modern, and democratic Islamic country. Challenges have been there, but these are the principles and that Pakistan looks forward to expand on. And similarly, to promote peace, stability, and friendly relation with neighbors. That's another important point of Pakistan's foreign policy, and this is what Pakistan is looking forward to as well. And along with this, the other key points is that to find the resolution of all disputes with India, along with the issue of Kashmir, raise the issue on Kashmir and on international forums. Although Pakistan has tried a lot now, it's asking the Islamic countries to intervene. Pakistan recently asked Saudi Arabia to come forward and talk on the issue of Kashmir, and that's very important to discuss because Pakistan believe that Kashmir issue is one of the strongest points in their foreign policy, and that's what Pakistan has been doing for the last 7 decades, speaking on the Kashmir issue, and the issue is still unresolved for a number of years. Similarly, the objectives of Pakistan foreign policy also includes to forge cordial and friendly relation with all neighbor Muslim countries and to larger international community to fulfill responsibilities as a responsible member of international community. So Pakistan looks to itself as a responsible member of the international community, and meanwhile it's also looking to forge cordial relations with the neighboring Muslim countries and the international community. And the recent example can be when the tensions escalated between United States and Iran. Pakistan also offered to help mediate, and Pakistan tried to play a very positive role in between. And similarly, when Saudi Arabia had its ongoing conflict with Yemen, Pakistan decided not to participate or send forces uh, to support the Saudi troops against Yemenis. And I think sometimes these kind of decisions are very important. Although there can be backlash, foreign policies are not always appreciated because it's from every country's own perspective. But Pakistan has to look into its own perspective, how it can maintain a central space as being one of the strong Muslim countries, being the only Muslim nuclear country, being the only Muslim country with nuclear power, in fact. So it's very important that Pakistan has a key role to play as a strategic partner, as a global player or a member of international community. So it's very important how Pakistan plays and forges relationships. And similarly, to prevent and respond to threats and capitalize on opportunities, Pakistan have to look forward to prevent and respond to threats. If there's a threat, particularly from India, Pakistan looks forward to respond through means and diplomacy first, and then it depends how international community gets involved. And then Pakistan is also looking forward to capitalize on opportunities if there's any opportunities such as Pakistan, Iran, India, gas pipeline, or Turkmenistan, which is called TAPI, TAPI, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India. If that pipeline works, so Pakistan is looking to capitalize on opportunities because this region is rich for its resources, and Pakistan's geostrategic location is pretty important. It has two seaports, so Pakistan looks forward to capitalize on opportunity as well. And meanwhile, Gwadar port is being utilized for this purpose, and Pakistan looks forward to be playing a major role between China and Middle Eastern countries and Central Asian countries through CPAC project. So let's see how it goes. So this is what Pakistan's objectives are. And then obviously the last one that we can talk about is to safeguard the interest of Pakistani diaspora, to look at Pakistanis living abroad, how they are doing, how they are dealing, what their issues are, through that Pakistan can address their problems and raise the voices through its consulates and embassies in the foreign countries. So Pakistan Foreign Ministry plays an important role in addressing those issues of those foreign expatriates, so Pakistanis living abroad. It's very important for the economy as well. If the number of Pakistanis through remittances, when they send remittances to Pakistan, when they send money, it helps boost the local economy as well. So it's very important how Pakistan maintains its relationships with countries where it keeps sending people from here with skilled migration skills or potential talent that can serve international community as well. So we can see that Pakistani doctors have contributed in this regard, a very big name. We can see a lot of Pakistani doctors in the United States and United Kingdom. That's what a very good representation of Pakistan is, that they're producing quality doctors or engineers or people with talent, or particularly PhDs, the high number of PhDs now going from Pakistan and participating. So that's what makes a difference, that's what counts, and that's what also helps in image building. So we move forward, and now we talk about the national security, and the objective and determinant of foreign policy of Pakistan is its national security or independence. And since Pakistan was a newborn state and there was need to make plantings for its security, so since its inception, national security remains at the core heart. We discussed it earlier, but we are discussing it again because this is the primary focus of Pakistan's foreign policy. And since Pakistan formulated its foreign policy on the basis of national security, it gave due importance to the national security, establishing external relationship with countries. So whenever Pakistan is establishing relationship, security remains a key point. And then Pakistan also respects the national integrity and political independence of other countries and expects the others to do the same. So this is what the foreign ministry emphasizes, that this is what they do. That this is what they plan to do, and this is how they interact. Similarly, An economic factor also plays an important role, and after gaining independence from the British colonists, Pakistan needed an economy that could lead their survival. And economics remain at the core of Pakistan's foreign policy. And even today, as we just discussed, that Pakistan's cordial relationship with China and being an ally of the United States explain the complex foreign policy of Pakistan. Like we just discussed this, so you can see that the economic interest is of key importance to Pakistan, and what matters is economic welfare, and that's how the conditions. And already the COVID-19 situation is complex around the world, but Pakistan will be key. Will be looking forward to the economic factor, which plays a key role in development. And then we have ideology. Ideology remains at the heart of Pakistan's foreign policy as well. Pakistan is an ideological state, and its foreign policy is based upon the ideology of Pakistan and Islam. And the foreign policy is meant to protect the ideology. This is a strong point, and this is what we always hear, that Pakistan is an ideological state. Obviously, it came into its existence because of its ideology, and the establishment of brotherly relationship with Islamic countries, and to raise voice for the promotion of solidarity of the Islamic Brotherhood and regional forum is also the cornerstone of Pakistan's foreign policy. So these are some of the points. Ideology remains at the heart, and obviously national interest, security, and ideology. Pakistan's foreign policy is driven by this, which is at times always looked into this perspective, and sometimes security perspective dominates the development perspective. But this is how the situation is. This is what the regional politics are, and this is how the policy, Pakistan foreign policy, is going on at the moment. And similarly, we have to discuss the key points. And some of the key points that we are seeing is the guiding principles of Pakistan foreign policy are rooted in countries' Islamic ideology. So let's not forget that countries' key foreign policy is rooted in Islamic ideology, and that point cannot be ignored. This is one of the most important points that should not be ignored. And similarly, Pakistan foreign policy is about keeping cordial relationship with other member states as well. We should not forget Pakistan is, as foreign policy, is looking forward to have relationship with member states from different countries, and it's looking forward to have very cordial relationship with countries around the world, and particularly the relationship with developed countries, and looking forward to economic interest also remains a very important point for Pakistan. And as we have just discussed, that Pakistan is looking for Chinese investment at the moment, which is the heaviest investment in the recent times. And let's see how it goes in the coming days. Similarly, Kashmir remains at the heart of Pakistan's foreign policy. Pakistan has raised issue, and even recently it has raised voice at the international forums in the OIC and all, that the Kashmir issue is unresolved. It needs to be settled down in the light of United Nations. They discuss the rights of self-determination. In that context, they want this issue to be settled down, and this is how Pakistan has raised the voice of Kashmir issue multiple times, and it's asked some of the Islamic countries to participate, and which is why some rifts have taken place between some strong, powerful Muslim countries because they did not participate, and that's why Pakistan is discussing this again. They're looking forward to discuss it again at the international forums as well. So before we end our session, we have to look at also the global changing dynamics, that recently China and Pakistan remain strong allies due to CPEC and other regional concerns. How it will affect its relationship with other countries also important, and how Pakistan maintains its relationship with other countries will be seen in this context as well. And similarly, Pakistan continues its relationship with America, and present government has had cordial relationship with Trump administration. That's another key point. We have seen that Imran Khan and Trump have met on several occasions, and it seems that the relationship for the moment is cordial. There were suspicions between the two countries. There was some strained relationship for some time, but this time we are seeing that the relationship is pretty much clear, and Khan and Trump's administration is looking forward to cooperate with each other, and this is how the relationship is going. And similarly, Pakistan has remained a strong ally of Saudi Arabia. However, recently some concerns were raised when Pakistan questioned Saudi role in the Kashmir issue, that caused a rift that just for the first time in the history, Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have come to some point where it seems that rifts is there, but it seems that the matter has been resolved, and Pakistan will still look forward to Saudi Arabia in the future as well, because it remains an important country for Pakistan. And similarly, with Israel and Emirates diplomatic breakthrough, how will Pakistan respond in terms of diplomacy? Because the dynamics of Middle East are changing. Israel have come near to the Emirate countries, and how Pakistan will respond to that, well, it still remains a question, but we'll have to see in the near future how it goes. So, in general, what we can say to conclude that Pakistan's foreign policy is aimed at representing Pakistan in the best way. It aims at its national security. It aims at strengthening solidarity with the Muslim world and forging strong cordial relation with international community by being a very strong member of the international community itself. So this is what guiding principles of Pakistan foreign policies are. And these principles theoretically are very powerful, and Pakistan will seek to maintain these policies. And it just began from the beginning, right from how Qaid-e-Azam laid its foundation is going on. And Pakistan will see how it works out in the future. But since the global circumstances change, and with change, a lot of things are bound to change. So let's see how everything turns out in the near future. So I hope you enjoyed the session. We'll be in touch. Thank you very much for attending. See you around next time. Have a good day. Goodbye.